Hello and welcome to the Metro News on RayPower 100.5 FM. I am Kedenojo Okoliko. The House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee investigating the performance and benefits of concessionaire-operated ports has threatened to use its constitutional powers to compel government agencies to appear before it. Chairman of the committee, Kolawole Akinlayo, addressed journalists in Abuja, warning that the chief executives of Nigerian Ports Authority, the Nigerian Customs Service, and the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission to comply with the panel's request or face consequences. The committee lamented the reluctance of some ministries, departments, and agencies to provide documents and information, noting that non-compliance hampers its works. Inaugurated on February 3rd, 2026 by Speaker Tajuddin Abbas, the panel was tasked with examining concession agreements from 2006 to 2025, reviewing revenue flows from financial benefits to the federal government and assessing compliance with regulatory and safety obligations by port concessionaires. Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development Festus Keyamo has threatened to recommend the dismissal of airport officials who failed to fully implement the new cashless access gate policy. Keyamo made the statement during an on-the-spot assessment of the hybrid payment system, which officially begins today, 13th of March 2026. The minister warned that non-compliance could result in removal by President Bola Tinubu and stressed that there will be no reversal of the policy at the nation's airports. He described the cashless access gates as a key step toward modernizing airport operations and enhancing efficiency and security. Meanwhile, the Federal High Court in Abuja has fixed April the 1st for the fresh arraignment of former Jigawa State Governor Sule Lamido and his two sons over a 1.3 billion naira corruption charge filed by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC. Justice Peter Alifo fixed the date after Lamido and his sons, Aminu and Mustafa, failed to appear in court to take their plea. Counsel to the defendants, Joe Aji, apologized for their absence, explaining that they received notice of the hearing only a day earlier and could not travel from Kano in the time. The FCC counsel, Chile Okoroma, also confirmed the court that the commission had written to the chief judge, John Soho, requesting that the initial trial judge, Justice Ijoma Ojuku, be returned to Abuja to continue the case. The trial follows a January 2026 ruling by the Supreme Court of Nigeria, which set aside an earlier Court of Appeal decision that had discharged Lamido and his sons and ordered the matter to return to the Federal High Court for continuation of trial. And the Nigerian Data Protection Commission has issued a stern warning to individuals who take pictures or video footage of unsuspecting members of the public and share them on social media. In a statement signed by Babatunde Bamigoye, who is the head of legal at the commission, the NDPC said such actions violate citizens' rights to informational self-determination as guaranteed under Section 37 of the 1999 Constitution and the Nigeria Data Protection Act of 2023. The warning comes after a content creator in Lagos State was found filming unsuspecting members of the public to create a reality show, raising concerns about abuse of privacy rights. The commission stated that these acts serve no legitimate public interest and directed social media platform owners, including TikTok, X, and Meta, to refrain. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shaibu, says the relationship between Nigeria and South Africa has historically been anchored on shared values, mutual respect, and a common commitment to peace, security, and development across the African continent. The Army boss hosted these at a gala night in honor of the Chief of South African Army, Lieutenant General Lawrence Mbatha, said the visit is both strategic as it further strengthens the long-standing cordial relationship of army-to-army cooperation between the two countries. To report.
After a week-long series of activities moving from one army formation to another, showcasing the capabilities of the Nigerian Army and its readiness to confront emerging security challenges, the Chief of the South African Army, Lawrence Mbata, was treated to a gala night in Abuja, displaying cultural dances and cuisines. The visiting army boss from South Africa and his team were visibly delighted to be in Nigeria. Over the years, the two countries have continued to collaborate in educational exchange programs, peace support operations, capacity development, and regional stabilization initiatives. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waheed Shaibu, said the contemporary security environment across Africa have continued to evolve in complexity, with threats such as terrorism, insurgency, banditry, transnational organized crimes, and other asymmetric challenges, testing the adaptability and operational readiness of the armed forces.
The Nigerian Army remains committed to building a highly professional, well-trained, and combat-ready force capable of addressing contemporary and emerging security threats within a joint and multi-agency environment. Military diplomacy remains a critical tool in strengthening trust, fostering mutual understanding, and building enduring institutional relationships.
The Chief of the South African Army, Lieutenant General Lawrence Mbata, said his visit was authorized by superiors from the Minister of Defense to the Chief of the South African National Defense Force to strengthen cooperation with the Nigerian military and to explore areas where both nations can work together for mutual benefits.
We establish a strong working relationship in cooperation that will take us further as we ensure that we work towards our strategic instincts, which is to bring about peace and stability and security to the continent.
Highlight of the event was exchange of military souvenir indicating commitment, regional collaboration to tackle the emerging security threats across the African continent. Has Akudi, Abuja.
The Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NiMet, has issued a public health advisory warning that several northern states face an increased risk of cerebrospinal meningitis or CSM as dry season conditions continue to. NiMet identified Sokoto, Zamfara, Kebbi, Katsina, Kano, Jigawa, Adamawa, Gombe, Bauchi, Yobe, and Borno as high-risk states, urging residents and health authorities to take preventive measures. And now you are listening to the Metro News on RayPower 100.5 FM. More stories after the break. Please stay with us. Sincere thanks for staying with us. Now to the rest of the news. Let's take you to Niger, where the government has summoned the European Union's Chargé d'Affaires in Niamey to protest a European Parliament resolution calling for the immediate release of detained former President Mohamed Bazoum. The former ministry handed an official protest letter to EU representative Nicoletta Avela, strongly condemning the EU's interference in Niger's internal affairs. The European Parliament overwhelmingly adopted the non-binding resolution yesterday with 524 votes in favor. It demands the release of Bazoum, who has been detained with his wife since July 2023 coup. His presidential term expires on the 2nd of April. And still on the foreign side, the UN's emergency relief chief has condemned the $1 billion a day cost of the war rolling the Middle East at a time of severe cuts to the global body's humanitarian work in emergencies and soaring needs. Speaking in Geneva, he highlighted that a $23 billion appeal announced last December to help 87 million of the world's most vulnerable people remains around two-thirds underfunded. In a call to donors to deliver on their pledges quickly, Fletcher insisted that without additional support, millions of people are likely to die. While the number of people in need of assistance globally far outnumbers the 87 million identified in the unveiled plan at the end of last year, Fletcher explained that these were the people in the greatest need.
And now, a business update from RayPower 100 FM.
The Central Bank of Nigeria has directed banks to restrict certain banking services to individuals and companies that fail to meet their loan repayment obligations. The move is part of efforts by the Apex Bank to strengthen credit discipline and reduce the level of non-performing loans within Nigeria's financial system. Under the directive, banks are expected to impose restrictions on customers identified as chronic loan defaulters, particularly those with significant outstanding credit facilities. Industry analysts say the policy is aimed at discouraging borrowers from accessing new financial services while still defaulting on existing loan commitments.
This is entertainment news on RayPower 100.5 FM.
Comedian, skit creator, and media personality popularly known as Brother Shaggy has reportedly been hospitalized after sustaining an alleged gunshot injury in the Shango Ota area of Ogun State. Reports indicate that the incident happened Sunday afternoon while shooting a comedy skit. A police source disclosed that Brother Shaggy was injured during the filming, though the precise details surrounding how the incident occurred are still unclear.
RayPower Sport.
The war in the Middle East has spilled into the world of football, with Iran saying no country can exclude it from the FIFA World Cup after Donald Trump warned that the team's life and safety could be at risk in the United States. In a statement on social media, the Iranian national football team said the tournament is governed by FIFA, not individual countries. The team also suggested the United States should not co-host the event if it cannot guarantee security for participating teams.
RayPower weather.
This evening, dust haze will persist across the northern and north-central regions, leading to reduced visibility in some areas. The southern region will experience partly cloudy skies with patches of isolated thunderstorms and light rain expected over parts of Lagos, Bayelsa, and Rivers later tonight. Residents are advised to take caution and avoid prolonged exposure to the heat that's ravaged the most of the parts of the country. To end the news, here is our last line. In the words of Helen Keller, an author and disability rights advocate, optimism is a faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence. That's it for the Metro News as produced by Idimachi Ikechukwu. I am Kedonojo Okoliko. Join us at 6 p.m. for our next bulletin, Nigeria Today, and then we'll bring you news from across the nation. Remember, you can follow us with our news live on YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel at RayPower 100.5 FM Abuja. Good evening.